Yo, 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 Big D here, and it must be big because it's Saturday night, and I am recording a solo edition of the Big D podcast. Before I dive deeper into the episode, please subscribe, like, and share the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page. We can see all my videos. We've got a bunch out there and a whole bunch coming next week, so I can't wait to upload those. Also, check out the Big D podcast on Spotify and Apple. So, boy, this week 10 has been quite possibly the craziest week for injuries and drama off the field. I just wanted to be Sunday so that I don't have to make any more lineup changes. Tonight, one more twist was thrown when Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list, meaning he will miss tomorrow afternoon's game against Detroit Lions. That also means Mason Rudolph hasn't started a game since week 17 of last year. Will be under center for the Steelers tomorrow. From everything I'm hearing, it looks like Big Ben is vaccinated. So, unlike Aaron Rodgers, who was forced to miss 10 days, Big Ben could be back for next Sunday night's tilt with the Chargers, but he won't be playing tomorrow. So it looks like Rudolph will be under center, and it also means Dwayne Haskins will be active for the Steelers as the backup tomorrow. So, I mean, if you look at the line, it didn't really shift as much as you would think with a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. I mean, going into the night, Pittsburgh was an 8-point favorite, and then now there's still a 6.5-point favorite. So obviously, Vegas is telling me they don't see much of a difference between Big Ben and Mason Rudolph. Yeah, a big difference between Big Ben and Mason Rudolph, but obviously this can't be good if your starting quarterback lands in COVID jail the night before a game. I wonder what the line will be between Pittsburgh and Detroit tomorrow. Might even shift a little more. And secondly, it's got to hurt Pittsburgh's skill position and Pittsburgh's wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs, because Pittsburgh's already missing Chase Claypool, who's likely to miss a couple weeks of an injury. So if you look at it not just for DFS, but for fantasy football, Deontay Johnson was going to be a popular pick in most leagues, whether it be DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, or your regular fantasy football league. Now, you wonder if Rudolph will provide the same production. James Washington could have been a popular value play at 3,500 on DraftKings. Now you wonder if he's downgraded. And the big wild card is, what does this do with Najee Harris? Because Big Ben and Najee had developed a great relationship. It seems like whether as a runner or receiver, Najee Harris is always there. Now you hope Mason Rudolph checks down, but we've seen some quarterbacks don't check down, and hopefully for fantasy and DFS uses tomorrow, Najee Harris is still involved, not just as a runner, but as a pass receiver, because we all love those receptions coming out of the backfield. But if there were ever an opportunity for the Detroit Lions to potentially to get a win over the Pittsburgh Steelers, tomorrow might be the best opportunity. So, I mean, Detroit would have been an interesting pick at +8. Now you wonder, with Big Ben starting at +6.5. I mean, could the Lions pull off an upset and potentially get a win? I mean, it seems like there've been a few upsets lately, with Jackson being Buffalo last week, Denver being Dallas, even back Thursday night with Miami shocking Baltimore. So It's the NFL. You never know what to expect. Hopefully, we don't have any more injuries or surprise, but something tells you we're not done between now and kickoff and 1 p.m. So while we're here, I just wanted to show you what I am thinking for my lineup tomorrow on DraftKings. And yes, you will. Yes, I've talked about cash games, and yeah, I'm playing a lot of cash games tomorrow. I've got a full cash game lineup, so I'll show you here. But dang it, come on, DoorDash, I don't want you there, but there we go. So here's my main cash lineup I'm using for now, with Justin Herbert under center for the Chargers. I really like Herbert because he has thrown at least 35 passes in every game this year. And yes, Herbert might not be a running quarterback like a Lamar Jackson, a Jalen Hurts, but the fact he's throwing 35, 40, 45 times a game means he could get that 300-yard bonus, possibility of 2 or 3, if not more touchdowns. And you look at LA's offense, you've got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jared Cook, and Austin Eckler. I think Justin Herbert is potentially the safest quarterback to use. If you're not using Herbert in cash, I really think Tom Brady makes the most sense. Tampa throws the ball more than any team in the NFL. Mike Evans could be a target monster, especially in the red zone tomorrow. I think Chris Godwin plays. I know Godwin missing a couple of days of practice scared a few people, but I think Godwin plays tomorrow. And look out for Tyler Johnson, potentially as a sneaky play, 3,300 against a crappy Washington football team defense. Look out. And then a running back. I mean, I still think Najee Harris is fine because, I mean, you look at that workload, whether it's a running back or receiver, Najee Harris is getting the rock now, truly. He didn't really run the ball well on Monday night, but he's getting 20 plus carries a weekend. I mean, will he get 19 targets like he did week 3 against the Bengals? No, but if he got 4, 5, 6 targets, I don't think that's out of the question. I think, was Pittsburgh still a favorite? I think they'll try and run the ball, especially now with Rudolph. So I think Najee Harris makes a lot of sense at 7,900. If you're not on the Najee Harris train, I think Jonathan Taylor at 8,100 makes a lot of sense. With the Colts a big favorite of the Jacks, I think Taylor is fine himself. And now we'll get to possibly the value plays, not just of this week or the season, maybe of the decade. How about Dearness Johnson at 4,700? Yeah, Nick Chubb's in COVID jail, and you know what that means. Dearness Johnson time. That is sick. A $4,700 running back on a run behind the NFL's best offensive line. And look what Dearness Johnson did week 7 against the Broncos. 22 carries, 146 yards, and a touchdown. I don't care what he does as a receiver. You told me 22 carries, $146, and a touchdown. Sign me up. I'll take that. And then the other play, how about Mark Ingram? The old saint might be the young buck again. If you look week 1 of 26 carries against with the Texans against Jags, what he's capable of doing now. I mean, even last week with Kamara, he got 9 carries with 5 targets coming out of the backfield with no Alvin Kamara. I think there's a possibility Ingram gets 15 do 18 carries out of the backfield. If he got 5-7 targets, that's 20-25 touches. And maybe more importantly, if Mark Ingram's the goal line back, you got the possibility of touchdowns, particularly with Tennessee a little banged up offensively with no Derrick Henry and now no Julio Jones. So I think Ingram makes a lot of sense as the third cheap running back. Plus, most cash guys want to play 3 running backs. So, and now the fun part. How about wide receivers? Yeah, good news. Aaron Rodgers should be back this week. And you know what that means? Davante Adams will eat. I mean, how about Davante Adams, even with Jordan Love last week, got 14 targets? I mean, Davante Adams eats against the Seahawks. He eats the Seahawks for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and maybe the snack after the game. I mean, I think Davante Adams, especially with no Cooper Kupp on the slate, is the wide receiver you want at the top. He's under $8,000. Davante Adams under $8,000 is a great deal. A great deal when you've got a pissed off Aaron Rodgers and a Green Bay offense ready to rumble. Yeah. And when I said Mike Evans, usually Evans the GPP play, but I think he's a play in all formats. So I mean, potentially double-digit targets again, and we know what Mike Evans can do in the red zone. 3 touchdowns against the Bears. Hopefully he remembers that Tom Brady's going after yet another record on Sunday. So, I mean, would it be surprised if Mike Evans went like 5 for 70 and 3 touchdowns the ball? No. And then a chief guy, I really want to play James Washington, but I'm a little worried with Rudolph. And yes, playing 2 receivers in the same team might hurt, but having 2 receivers for Tom Brady on the center is a lot better than having 2 playmakers with Mason Rudolph on the center. I know Godwin's playing, but if Tyler Johnson got 6 targets a couple of weeks ago, could he get 6, 7, 8, and at 3,300, you just need one play. If Tyler Johnson went for a 70-yard touchdown, that's all you need. That's all you need at 3,300. And then tight end, there were 2 real main catch tight ends, Dan Orton and Tyler Conklin. I really like Conklin this week. I mean, he is a target monster. He's gotten at least 3 targets in every game. The last 3 weeks, even with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, and Dalvin Cook, Conklin's getting targets. And he's so consistent. And I feel like he's thinking, he's only scored 1 touchdown. I think that touchdown number could change small. Because this game, the Viking-Charger game's got one of, if not the highest over-unders. And generally, if there are points, you want a cheap tight end. And the old school phrase was, use your tight end against the Chargers. So I think Conklin makes a lot of sense at 3,400. And then defense, I really want to use the Steelers. I really wanted to use the Titans at first, but with the money, I think Buffalo at $4,000 makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you discount the Tennessee game, Buffalo's defense been fine, and look what they can do. I mean, 40-0, they could put up 12, 15, 20 points, just shut out. And it's not like, and you really think the Jets are going to move the ball that well against the Bills defense? Plus, Buffalo's going to be pissed off with losing to Jacksonville last week. So I think the Jets will be in for a rough afternoon tomorrow. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully, your lineups and my lineups work out. We bring home the bacon, we bring home the money, and then we're chilling on Sunday night and Monday morning.